Deleted Peppa Pig episode, Don't Step in the Puddle, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. Peppa once loved jumping in muddy puddles. It was her favorite thing to do. But one day, everything changed. In an episode no one ever saw on TV, it was pouring rain. Peppa woke up alone. George was gone, and so were her parents. Outside, everything was flooded. The yard was drowning in strange purple puddles, deeper than usual, far too deep. Peppa stepped outside, let out a happy snort, and jumped into the first puddle. But instead of a cheerful splash, there was a dull, sucking sound. The puddle pulled her body down deeper. Hee, that's not funny, Peppa said. Let go. But the puddle only pulled harder. Suddenly, a face rose from the water. It looked like hers, but with no eyes and a stretched mouth. It spoke. One jump, and you stay forever. Shadows began rising from the puddle. First Daddy, then George. Jump with us, Peppa. We're family. The puddle dragged her even deeper, and then she began to change into a monster. The last thing she saw was the sky. Since then, in every episode, if you look closely at the puddles, you can see a face. And if a child stares at the screen too long, tiny reflections appear in their eyes too. Small, wet, and calling them to jump. Deleted Peppa Pig episode, Madame Gazelle's Virus, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. One day at kindergarten, Madame Gazelle came in very pale and silent. She didn't smile, didn't sing, didn't tell stories. Instead, she just stood and stared at the children without blinking. Madame Gazelle, are you okay? Peppa asked. The teacher didn't respond. She only whispered softly, You will become like me too. The next day, George started coughing. His skin turned gray and he began walking strangely, slowly, dragging his feet. Daddy Pig said it was just a cold. But soon, Mummy Pig got sick too. Then Susie, then Daddy. The eyes of the infected turned cloudy. They stopped talking. They only whispered, The virus is inside. It's hungry. Peppa hid under the bed and kept a diary. On the last day, her entries looked like this. Mummy bit Daddy. George is knocking at the door. I don't want to open it. The final entry was written at 3:47 a.m. They're inside. Since then, Peppa Pig's house has stood empty. But sometimes, if you go near the window, you can still hear P-E-Pa-A. Join us. Deleted Peppa Pig episode, Voices on the Walkie-Talkie, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. Daddy Pig gave Peppa and George walkie-talkies so they could talk to each other while playing hide-and-seek. Just don't use them at night, Mummy Pig said sternly. Walkie-talkies can pick up strange signals. Everything was fun until one evening, right before bed, Peppa turned on her walkie-talkie. Suddenly, a strange, crackling voice came through the speaker. P-E-E-Pa, you're not alone. George, is that you? Peppa asked. Silence. Then again, I'm hiding. In the closet. Find me. Peppa walked over to the closet and slowly opened the door. It was empty. Very funny, George, she muttered. But the second walkie-talkie was still lying next to George's bed. He was sound asleep. The next morning, the voice came through the walkie-talkie again. Found one. Now you. George was gone. That night, the static returned. Only you left. I'm coming.